Topic 1. Big money AI bets and operational problems. Companies and investors are plowing huge sums into AI infrastructure, even as operational, cost, and safety cracks appear. Berkshire made a $10 billion private allocation to Alphabet, and Alphabet announced an $85 billion rights offering. Meta is reportedly preparing to raise tens of billions, and both Meta and Alphabet are sharply expanding AI CAPEX. SpaceX signed a compute leasing deal with Google reported at about $920 million per month from October 2026 to June 2029 and has large AI CAPEX and compute contracts. Anthropic secured full capacity of Memphis's Colossus One data center. In practice, treating everything with frontier models is driving cost explosions, so companies are implementing model routing, sending tasks to cheaper, lower capacity models where appropriate, which could reduce demand and premium pricing for frontier models and pressure frontier labs' revenue and valuations. Vendors respond with efficiency and performance guarantees, but technical setbacks, Grok misuse, SpaceX AI losses, and safety regulatory debates, Anthropic's proposed global slowdowns versus OpenAI's stance that governments must regulate, are intensifying scrutiny and political engagement, leaving frontier labs racing to improve efficiency, differentiation, and compliance as buyer power shifts toward large enterprise purchasers. Topic 2. Markets, Fed, and jobs. A hot May jobs report. 172,000 non-farm payrolls shattered easing expectations and pushed back anticipated Fed rate cuts, even reopening talk of further hikes. That dynamic fed into internal Fed debate over the new chair Kevin Wash's assumptions about AI-driven productivity and disinflation, and disputes over indicator use. Markets sold off abruptly. The Nasdaq plunged about 4%, the S&P 500 fell roughly 2.6%, the VIX spiked, and Treasury yields rose with the 10-year near 4.54%, while gold dropped around 3%. Tech, AI, and semiconductor stocks were hardest hit after weak guidance from names like Broadcom, and crypto fell too. Bitcoin slid more than 5% below $60,000 amid heavy shorting of MicroStrategy and its preferred shares, raising the prospect of prolonged higher rates and elevated volatility. Geopolitical oil risks and the strong jobs data together reinforced inflation worries, meaning investors must prepare for a longer period of higher rates and market turbulence. Topic 3. Geopolitical flashpoints and security tensions. U.S. strikes on Iranian coastal radar and surveillance sites followed drone attacks and were met by Iran's claims of counterattacks, while neighboring states like Kuwait and Bahrain experienced missile and siren incidents, underscoring regional spillovers. Iran's threats to choke the Strait of Hormuz and warnings about Bab el-Mandeb jeopardize critical maritime chokepoints for global oil flows. Saudi Arabia has been diverting cargo via its east-west pipeline, but continued attacks would again imperil Asian exports and drive sharp oil price spikes. Russia's Rosneft chief warned that such disruptions advantage U.S. energy firms short-term while worsening long-term demand uncertainty and pressure to diversify supply, and OPEC Plus cohesion faces stress amid production questions. Diplomatic channels and JCPOA discussions remain unstable, third-party mediators are engaged, and the simultaneous flare-ups, from Hezbollah to Houthi attacks, raise the risk of wider regional escalation, higher shipping insurance, and sustained energy and supply chain disruptions. Topic 4. SpaceX IPOs and AI infrastructure. SpaceX's IPO is drawing frenzied demand. Reports indicate about $150 billion of orders for roughly $75 billion being raised, valuing the company near $1.75 trillion. While only a small float and limited voting rights leave governance and liquidity risks. Retail allocations up to 30% are being considered, and platforms across Europe and the UK are taking orders, but analysts warn of high valuation, sustained losses in the AI business, and thin free float risks. SpaceX has tied its market story to large AI compute contracts, reported GU,